Everyone! Sorry there's no Festival of the Living Dead video this week. I'm actually doing a lot of research on this one in terms of licensing music um, and renting stuff in terms of buildings and venues and stuff like that. I'm actually hoping to get it out either next week or the week after. This week I want to talk about the movie that's in the corner over there, Junk. It's honestly one of my favorite zombie films of all time. I'm not going to go into huge details on the movie itself like I did with Festival of the Living Dead, particularly because I feel like this is one of those movies that needs to be experienced in its entirety, and luckily enough, you can, and I'll explain why at the end of the video. So, my history with this film. I ended up finding it by accident going through the olden days of the Asian cinema boom between 2000 and 2008. This was at a time when films were getting remade multiple times. This was at a time when there was plenty of sites. There was, Kung Fu cult cinema. I think they might actually be. This is a different than Asian cult cinema. Uh, there was Hong Kong Flicks, HK Flicks. They sold DVD players and bootleg movies. There was the very myriad of review sites. There was Snowblood Apple. They covered this movie as well. There's, God, so many different sites. So, how did I find this movie, you're wondering? Well, the answer's simple. I found its distributor, which was Unearthed Films, who are still operating today, of course. And so I found the film, watched the trailer, had to have it. But this being like when I'm 17, 18 years old, I can't get it because I don't have access to a credit card or a debit card. I had a bank account, but it was a savings account. So my only hope was either it was going to be available at a FYE or a Suncoast if they still existed at the time, if I'm honest, or if better, at Best Buy or Borders. Actually, Borders was still a thing, wasn't it? So what happened was, my brother and sister were hanging out at my aunt's, and my mom took me to an FYE up in Trumbull, the Trumbull Mall, I think. Yeah, it was the Trumbull Mall. And what happened was they had it, and it was $30. Now, for those that don't know, $30 may seem like a lot these days in terms of like a 4K, but this was $30 in like 2004 or 5 money. And 2004 and 2005 money was a lot on a DVD, honestly, because this was like right around the time the anime bubble was about to burst, and right around the time remakes for Asian films were starting to die down. So, $30 for something was a little extreme. You gotta also keep in mind, like VHS tapes were still sort of a thing. So, I think I'm rambling and remembering stuff wrong. No. VHS was a few years earlier, because a few years earlier, I was able to watch Biozombie on VHS. That was $25, I think, at best, in a FYE. But anyway, the FYE in question was at the Trumbull Mall, and it essentially was a huge place. It's nothing like the FYEs we know today, where it's essentially just an anime store or a pop culture store. The FYE in Trumbull Mall in the day used to be this huge store. It was like a third CD store, a third movie shop, and a third pop culture store. And it took up like a large chunk of the mall. They even had it was actually 4 quarters, because back in the days they also used to have an arcade. All of that's gone now. It's now just like half CD store, half pop culture store. I don't know if they still sell CDs. Honestly, I haven't been there in a few years. But they had the movie. It was $30. I had to have it. I still have it, but I also had to replace it because I've moved over the years. And so what happened was the disc got cracked because it's plastic. It doesn't last long, even if you are the greatest sort of collector in the world. If you move a lot, you do end up having one or two issues with moving CDs. I didn't have spacers to protect the disc itself, so what happened was the disc cracked. And sadly, that is the case of what happened with my copy. And finally, this year, I had enough. I wanted a new copy. It took 2 tries. Sorry, 2 tries. Ironically, we just did 2 tries. And finally, I was able to get a new pristine copy. The funny part is, the first copy I ended up buying was pristine, but it did not look, it was not running pristinely. I had to run it on 4 different devices, honestly. PS4, PS5, PS3, and an Xbox 360. That's how many devices I had to run the fucking thing on to know it didn't work. And sadly, it didn't fucking work. And incidentally, the cover art you're seeing in the corner right there, that's from the Unearthed Films edition. So you're probably also asking, well, why not just ask Unearthed Films? Maybe they still sold it. Nope, they lost the license years ago, and even then they didn't have copies in the warehouse. Some company like Synapse, they still have the license to Wild Zero, which I'll do a video on another day. But usually they'll have like a spare copy or two if they haven't sold out yet, but they didn't have any spare copies, which was sort of sad. I was hoping to find a copy for the cheap, but it was like $25-30 to replace my copy of junk. But I guess we'll get to the movie now. The movie itself is odd to explain. It's simple in its execution. It's essentially a bunch of robbers steal like millions of yen worth of jewelry from a store, and they go to meet up with these yakuza, because it's either in an Asian horror film, it's either the yakuza or it's the triad or whatever it is in Korea and Thailand, or it's a crime family. Let's just say crime family. A bunch of robbers steal jewelry. They try to meet up with the crime family so they can sell the jewelry. But in reality, the place they're meeting up in, my glasses keep slipping, I'm sorry. The place they're meeting up in is actually a place used for illegal chemical testing by the government. Which government? Well, it's mostly the U.S. government, kind of like in Zombie 3. And oddly enough, it's about as dangerous as the one from Zombie 3, because they're trying to bring the dead back to life. And, well, wouldn't you know it, there are zombies in this bare place. And it's eventually revealed that the Yakuza plan to kill the robbers and just steal the jewelry. But then, of course, the zombies show up. They want to kill the Yakuza. And all of a sudden, there's, like, soldiers involved. One of them looks like Zach Ward. There's another soldier involved. He's a doctor, and he's like got an involvement with the super zombie that's in the movie. Apparently they were in love, and then she died, and then he was involved with this, and then he got uninvolved with it. And then there's this guy who looks like Ned Flanders with like losing most of his hair, but he's still got the bad mustache. So it's like, and he acts like how an Italian would in an Italian production playing an American. Like he kind of acts like it too. He's like he's American. He's American. He speaks American English, but his voice sounds like that bad English dub of an American actor, of an Italian actor. I mean, playing an American. It's like they're speaking Italian. You can tell they're speaking Italian, but they're dubbed over by someone who can speak the worst English. It's like, what's going on? And like, I'm not sure. It's like that. It's like, Ian McCullough can speak English, but they still dub him over with this like weird English guy who's not Ian McCullough. Oh god, and I just want to watch Zombie 2 now. I want to actually watch a shitty zombie film. Like I want to watch Zombie 5. Maybe I'll do Zombie 5 next week. While I'm still doing the Festival of the Living Dead video. But it is coming. It's going to come soon. But anyway, so zombie hijinks happen. It's so much stuff happens. The doctor soldier and the Zach Ward soldier, they're wielding M16s fighting zombies. And I think it is an M16 actually, because I distinctly remember those guns used in Predator by Arnold Schwarzenegger, or like another Italian film, like Robo War, I think it was. Uh, there's a running joke with a car that has a payoff at the end. It has a payoff at the end. I'm sorry, I'm yawning. This is like the 5th time I've shot this video because I was not happy with like all the other takes, which just sucks because I don't like doing multiple takes for this show. If I feel like a take is good, I just keep it. Anyway, the zombies look good. I guess I'll get to the practical stuff now because I just left that. I'm gonna leave that in. Like I promise to edit my videos better in the future, but I'm gonna leave some stuff. I'm gonna leave this stuff in today. The zombies look great in this movie. They're that mix between Dawn of the Dead cheesy and Day of the Dead gross that sort of works really well. Like some of them actually also feature a little bit of Italian like influence, like that Zombie 2-3 era of Italian zombie films, because a lot of them have a weird case of some of them wear the blue pancake makeup, some of them don't wear the blue pancake makeup, but they're wearing like prosthetics and stuff like that. Some of them look like really torn up, but you know they look good. It feels like loving homage as opposed to looking cheap, which I feel like is the best thing you can go for in a zombie movie like this. Like it feels loving homage, and I feel like that's the case here. This is a loving homage not just to classic zombie films, but the video games. It feels like a live action Resident Evil movie, and this beats Resident Evil movies like Paul Anderson's one by 2 years, which is kind of surprising actually, because the virus in the film is green and it brings the dead back to life. You have a super zombie who might as well just be the tyrant, but not in design or size. You have all these different things. You have a self-destruct sequence in the movie, which is kind of friggin' funny, because they actually do the running away from the self-destruct and then the jumping away from it like it's going to do stuff. And they end up in like this pool of water, which is not safe. I've worked in places that were near factories where they had that runoff. It's you don't want to be swimming in that. That's some nasty shit, honestly. It's not fun. It is not fun at all. But yeah, they did do the weird thing at the end of the film where they did the joke for the car guy. It's all throughout the film. It pays off at the end. It is a good payoff. It's a fun payoff. But they also do tease a sequel, which I think is kind of a fun thing, but at the same time, I feel like, you know, the tease works, but I really do wish it did happen. But it's been almost 24 years since the movie came out. I don't think there's going to be a sequel. Like, if they did one, they would have been 5 years after it came out, when there was, like, a big uptick in zombie films between the Snyder's on Dawn of the Dead and Romero's Land of the Dead. Or maybe it would have happened 10 years ago with the big upkeep in zombie films and zombie TV shows. We had Kingdom. We had The Walking Dead. Why did I forget that? We had all these different ripoffs. Like now, I don't think we would get something like that now. But yeah, Junk is a weird type of film, but I love it a lot. It's kind of weird that not many YouTubers talk about it. The Horror Gurus talked about it, but I haven't seen tubers like Hagen or Count Wolfula or Brandon Tennell talk about it. Now, earlier in the video, I did state that you would be able to watch it and make your own thoughts on it, didn't I? That's because no one's licensed this film since Unearthed Films did. And that's because I know that because Unearthed Films, I contacted them like a year ago. They don't have the license and they do not know who does. So for all I know now, no one has the license to this film. That could explain how it's ended up on YouTube down with full subtitles. It's not my upload, but I am going to put it in the description for everyone to watch, because this movie needs to be watched. Everyone needs to take a night. It's not in the best quality. It's like 360 to 480p, which honestly, if considering it's a DVD rip, that is probably the best quality it's going to get for now, which is sad because it deserves better. I'm hoping that even if this video only gets like 50 views, that more people will talk about it, and they will talk to someone who runs a distribution company, and they will license this, and they will remaster it, and they will get that attention it deserves. Because this is a movie that deserves all that attention. It deserves to be one of the best unheard of zombie films of all time. We have all of these weird zombies like Toxic Zombies. We got Burial Ground, a fucking 4K release. I want this film, even if it's standard def, to get a Blu-ray release. And I really feel bad that it never got that chance. Every movie, I feel like, has gotten some sort of Blu-ray or 4K release over the last decade. And I feel like Junk deserves that as well. If we can get all of these other films a 4K and Blu-ray release, this film deserves one as well. But yeah, I am sorry that I did not get the Festival of the Living Dead video out this week. Hopefully I'll get it out by the end of this month, beginning of next month. But, as I've also stated, I love you guys. Thank you for the favorites and the comments last week on the video itself. I hope we can keep this trend going. And thank you guys for subscribing. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. If you don't like the video, please leave a dislike. I don't get why I can't see them. They're my own friggin' videos. I should be able to see if someone dislikes my damn videos, but I can't for some reason. And if you dislike something, do what everyone else has been doing and actually tell me. I prefer to honestly talk with you guys and fix what's working, what's not working. And, as I've said before, if it's your birthday, happy birthday. I hope it's been a great day. And remember, a review is an opinion, and if you disagree with my opinion, that's fine. I would rather you make your own opinion than consider my opinion the perfect one. So yeah, have a great day. Love all of you.